Hello everyone, it's 1:07 p.m. So I think I got about 3.5 hours of sleep this morning and finally fell asleep after 6:30. So this video I want to talk about foster children, being treated as throwaway kids. And so, you know, the idea I heard about how it's pretty much brainwashing a foster child, but when the foster parent tells the foster child that the biological family didn't want you and everything like that, and keep drilling it in your head that basically nobody care about you except them. I mean, except the a person who's abusing you and telling you these things. So I mean, stray animals get more love, care, and respect than foster children or homeless adults, and a lot of foster children unfortunately unfortunately have to grow up to face homelessness, and they grow up being unprepared for the real world, and it's difficult for them to try to make it on their own, and despite going through these fake ass independent living courses and stuff like that, they still end up having not any true, real, supportive guidance in early in adulthood. And, people who raise their own biological children, they raise their children every step of the way and, teach them a lot of things like driving a car, well, back in the days, balance a checkbook and stuff like that. But, dealing with foster care, the foster parents don't teach you a lot. It seems like sometimes the foster child is just there and just to be used as a slave, either a sex slave or a cleanup slave or whatever other kind of whatever weirdo slave. I mean, let me rephrase that, but whatever the so-called foster parent or quote unquote handler there, they have a weird kind of I'm not calling the slave a weirdo, but I'm trying to say that they have whatever kind of weird enslavement for that foster child, whether it be cleanup slaves or sex slaves, drug slaves, or whatever other kind of weird ass, kind of slave job that they want you to have. And then, you know being repeatedly told that nobody cares about you, and that society don't care about you, just psychologically and mentally brainwashing. And the foster mom manipulated and manipulated and forced people, especially me, to be dependent on her even after I turned 18, and me feeling like I was forced to depend on her or else be a no life. So narcissistic abusers, they make manipulate you into feeling like as if you ain't shit without them, or you will be a nobody if you don't let them control and dictate your life. But they're not doing anything to help you. They're not trying to train spiritually and biblically train you up in the way that you should go, because the idea that foster children being cash cows, and they make a lot of money off of you. And human trafficking, they said if somebody making a lot of money off of you, that's human trafficking, or the slang word pimping. But there are other ways to pimp people rather other than sexual. So I'm still deeply hurt and deeply wounded by my forced life after foster care. And they have the foster kids end up being too drugged up and too zombie, and sometimes die in foster care, and nobody cares. Just like when a homeless person disappears or dies, nobody cares. And this is part of the depopulation and eugenics. And it's scary and sad that people don't have any feelings, or or they another person's soul does not, I mean, it's of no value to them, but they care more about their car, they care about their beautiful house, they care about animals, they care about their plants and stuff like that, but you can't even care about another human soul, the suffering of another human, but you'd rather worship trees and animals. So it's like, they put us in this, they had, you know add more bonuses to make more money off of us foster kids. um when they drug us up and put us on psych medication, and we might go to foster care, and initially, nothing's really wrong with us, I mean, or any foster child, and then being on all those psychiatric medications, and then they question why the foster child has so many medical conditions. I mean, you vaccinate people, you force people to have mercury fillings in their mouth, you force them to see a psychiatrist and take medicine and stuff like that. And so, if foster children are treated like as if they're deprived of basic human rights, homeless people are treated like they don't have rights. And so, if a foster child decides to grow up, it's like they end up being forced against their will to have it's like the foster mom threatened me with this, made a threat. I mean, the thought of you know me being pregnant when I was 19 from one of those rapes that I experienced, and the foster mom made a threat to have my child taken away before the child is born. And she said, "You can't even take care of your goddamn self. How the hell are you gonna take care of a baby? Well, if I can't take care of myself, then the way you raised me, something was wrong with that." So you take in a whole bunch of foster kids just to abuse, and you act like you think you're entitled to everybody's kids and stuff like that. The way you can just snatch up people's kids at your own free will to control and abuse them and use them for narcissistic supply and more money. So that's all I gotta say about this little topic. Thanks for listening. Bye.